Everybody, welcome back to another episode of BWT. I'm your host, Teddy, and today we will be predicting the division winners and some awards for the 2026 season as it starts up tomorrow with Yankees versus Giants on opening night, and then everybody else starts up on Thursday. I'm excited. We finally made it. It was a long off season. Thank goodness for the WBC to entertain us for those 2 weeks. And this last week has just been dreadful, counting down the days to opening day. And we're almost there. So get excited. Make sure you are liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you do not miss out on any other videos that I will be dropping throughout the MLB season. And I also want to make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to the other shows on the network as well. We have CTC, Carl Talking College, RBO, Real Ballers Only, with Vaughn, Unfazed with Joe and AJ. We've got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, Dave's Doghouse, Zero Sports Talk with Griffey, In the Red Corner with Tomo, Ty, and Ricky, and of course the main show, Refuse to Lose, which is the sports center of the network. So make sure you guys are showing us some love, and we got you covered with every sport that you need. So click that subscribe button. The link is in the bio for all the channels that I just listed. So please, support is free, and we'll make sure that you are covered so you can win all of your sports debates at the barbershop, family gatherings, all that. We all know it gets heated when people start talking sports, and you want to be the one that comes out on top. So in order to have all that information, you need to be subscribed to the Refuse to Lose network. So let's get right into the 2026 division preview. We're going to start off with the AL West. I'm going to go last to first. I've got the Angels coming in last. They went out and got a bunch of old veteran guys, thinking that they will, I don't know, have a comeback, but I don't see it happening. Please get Mike Trout off of that team, get him to a playoff contender. I'm hoping that this is the year that they just trade him away. They see it as he's given everything to this organization, and they haven't been able to produce any winning seasons or multiple playoff runs. He's only been to the playoff once, and they were swept. So we need Trout in playoff baseball. Hopefully, this is the year that it happens. I got the Athletics coming in fourth. Great young core. I just don't think they have the pitching yet. Their offense, led by Nick Kurtz, Lawrence Butler, Shea Langoliers, Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom. You got dudes over there, and they're young and they're locked up for a very long time. So I think they will have a good year, but not enough to really make a push into the playoffs or anything like that. I've got the Mariners coming in third. Their pitching is always going to be there. Their offense is what's going to have them not have the success that they want down the road. I think Kyle Raleigh has a big disappointing season after what he did last year, and there's some stuff going on in the locker room as well. If you weren't paying attention to the WBC, they said it's squash, but you never know. And then I got the Rangers coming in second. I think the pitching rotation of the Rangers with the new acquisition of Mackenzie Gore, DeGrom, Eovaldi, Kumar, Jack Leiter, that's going to be a very good rotation. Mackenzie Gore comes in from the Nationals expecting to be that guy for the Nationals, but now he's a 3. So there's less pressure. there's going to be a better offensive production for him to get some wins and gain some confidence throughout the season. So I think the Rangers come in second in the division. And coming in first place is the Houston Astros. I think this is the year that they get healthy and they stay healthy and they get back to that mid 2010 run that they were on. I'm not saying that they're going to make a push for the World Series or anything like that, but I think that you will see this team and you'll see a complete opposite of what you saw last year. I really hope they stay healthy. Yordan Alvarez is the biggest piece of this team. Him and Altuve, if they continue to stay healthy, I think they have what it takes to win this division. Then we go to the AL Central, where we've got the White Sox coming in last. The acquisition of Japanese star Munetaka Murakami is going to bring people into the park. It's not going to be completely dead, but they will still be a very bad baseball team. I think him going to the White Sox for the 2-year deal that he did was great for him. There's not a lot of pressure. He's not going into a big market. Like I said, the White Sox are not a good team. So he's not expected to be the leader and push these guys to make the playoffs or anything like that. If it happens, you're going to have to take a good look at Murakami and reevaluate what we thought about him coming from Japan. But those 2 years to build a name for yourself in the States, and after those 2 years end, you get a bigger contract, probably to go to a better team. So I love this situation for Murakami, but I think the White Sox will still finish last in this division. I've got the Minnesota Twins coming in fourth. I don't know. They just don't do anything. They're in the offseason. Their offseason was just letting people go. Pablo Lopez ended up getting hurt. Byron Buxton, if he's on the field, he's one of the best center fielders in the game. But that's the problem with him. You don't know how available he's going to be. If he can stay healthy, then he's got a good shot of having this team play some pretty good baseball. Not enough for the playoffs, but good baseball. Then we got the Cleveland Guardians coming in third. I think the loss of Clase and Ortiz, it's going to play a big role into their rotation and bullpen. There's still going to be that scrappy offense who just tries to kill you with 1,000 paper cuts, just singles, tough at-bats, 10, 12 pitch at-bats, led by the very underrated superstar of Jose Ramirez, which I don't understand why he's underrated. He easily goes out there and gets you 30-30, 40-40 every year. He shouldn't be as underrated as he is, but I feel like he's not flashy. He's not the guy that's going on social media and talking crap, or he doesn't have these crazy bat flips or no flair to his game. But he is one of the best players in this league. I can easily say he's top 5. I can make an argument for top 5, top 7 if I'm being nice. But I think the Guardians come in third in this division. In second, I've got the Tigers in this division. I think Screwball pitches lights out per usual, but this offense is up and down. It's very, very seesaw offense. But it's going to help them out in the back end of the bullpen with the acquisition of Kenley Jansen. So that's going to help the late game situations, a veteran who has been on the big stage, the bright lights, and he's been able to get the job done. So that is going to help their bullpen. And I think that this offense is it's been creeping these past couple of years, right? They had that big downfall last year where they had I think it was 16 or 13 game lead in the division with like a month left, and they gave that up. I don't think they do that again. I think AJ Hinch gets these guys very well prepared. He's a great coach. He's always been a great coach. So I think he leads his team to a second place finish in the AL Central. And then I've got the Royals winning this division. Bobby Witt, I think, is going to have a crazy year. Michael Garcia has been playing some great baseball, the WBC MVP, and last year was his sort of breakout into the scene, and I think he continues to do that this year. Jack Caglione will have a good year. His swing looks really good right now, and Vinny Pasquantino. He's gonna be that leader that they need, the veteran presence, and when you talk about veteran presence on Kansas City, you have to talk about Salvador Perez, who hinted towards retirement um, after they won the WBC. So we never know. But if it is the final year, it's been a pleasure watching this guy play. He plays the game the right way. Such a great human. When other people talk about him, there's nothing bad being said about Salvador Perez. So tip of the cap to you, Salvi, and continue doing what you're doing because you're going to go down as one of the greats. And then we go to the AL East. I've got the Rays finishing in last place. I just don't think they have enough. Caminero is going to have another great season, but their pitching rotation and their others are not going to be enough. This 4 and 5, I think, can easily flop. I've got the 4 being the Baltimore Orioles with the acquisition of what's his name? Oh, Pete Alonso. And then Gunnar Henderson, I think, is going to get back to that Gunnar Henderson that we know. Last year, he had a down year. I'm really going to be paying attention to the Adley Rutschman situation with Samuel Basallo going to be on that roster, right? And Pete Alonso going to be at first. It's going to be a daily competition to see who is going to be the starting catcher. And it comes down to production. If you don't produce, you are not going to play. That's the way it goes at every level of the game. So Adley Rutschman, he's got some work to do this season because last year was not it. He started off good, but he fell off really, really bad. So hopefully he can bounce back. And then we've got the Blue Jays coming in third. I think they take a step back. I think last year they really surprised teams with the way that they played, really punched teams in the mouth. And I think this year people are going to be ready for it and they're going to be expecting it and they're going to beat the Blue Jays. So yeah, I got the Blue Jays finishing in third. This is going to be the toughest 1-2 race, I believe, in the entire MLB this upcoming season. I've got the Red Sox coming in second. Their pitching rotation was not that good last year, but they went out and got some good arms this year with Ranger Suarez, Jacob Oviedo, and Sonny Gray. Nothing too crazy. Suarez is a great pitcher, veteran who's been in the playoffs in the World Series. So that's going to play a big role in this clubhouse. I feel like when Bregman walked, the veteran presence kind of left with him, but them going out and getting those guys is really going to help that team mesh a little more. Roman Anthony, I think, has a great season. It really sucks for me to say it because, as you guys know, I'm a Yankee fan, but I like the way this kid plays the game. He plays it the right way. and he's good at the game. So as I hate the Red Sox, but you got to respect good players when needed, right? So I think the Red Sox come in second, and the last team, first place, the New York Yankees. I think they go out and really shock people. Everyone's been saying that these are the run it back Yankees and this and that because they didn't make any moves in the offseason, right? Volpe's hurt. We got Caballero starting off the season at shortstop. That's going to be a whole story this year. If Caballero is playing well while Volpe is still recovering, does Volpe just stay down in AAA? I don't know. What are we gonna do at third base, right? Why is Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones still in AAA? That's mind-boggling. Trent Grisham, you better have a good year. I'm giving you 2 months. If you don't produce at the level that you were expected to produce, being a $22 million player, which is ridiculous. You're not a $22 million player. I think the Yankees really messed up on that one, giving him a qualifying offer because nobody in their right mind in the MLB was going to give that guy that much money. So he jumped on it as soon as it happened because he probably knew that he wasn't going to get that much money anywhere else. So, and that's the reason why Dominguez was sent down. Trent Grisham had a terrible spring. Dominguez, he had a good spring. Yes, there's going to be those defensive mishaps. It's going to happen, right? But at the plate, Dominguez was hitting over 300. He's got the pop. He's got the switch hitting ability. He's got the power. He's got the speed. Like, what are we doing? And then Spencer Jones being in the minor leagues still too. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think this team brings those kids up and lets them play within the first 2 months of the season, and Yankees just get rolling, right? You gotta avoid that June slide that they always go into, right? They're up here April and May, and then once June comes around, they just forget how to play baseball, forget how to play winning baseball at least. But I think the Yankees win this division. Then we go to the NL West, where we have the two-time reigning World Series champions. I've got the Rockies coming in second place, in fifth place. Sorry, last place. I don't think I have to explain that one. They're not a good baseball team. Everybody knows it. So we go to fourth place, where I have the Diamondbacks finishing in fourth. Corbin Carroll will have a good year. I'm interested to see how Nolan Arenado does this year over there. I just don't think the pitching is there for the Diamondbacks team. So I believe they end up in fourth place. I think the Padres come in at third in this division. They've always had a target on their back, right? Because of the way that they talk during their fan fests or stuff like that during the media aspect of it. So they brought the target upon themselves, and they're not delivering. They had that big big disappointment in the playoffs 2 years ago when they were up on the Dodgers in the divisional series and ended up losing the next two to be eliminated. So I think the Padres have a good year. I think Tatis is going to be great per usual. Machado continued to be elite over at the hot corner with the glove and that smooth swing. But I just don't think that is going to be enough. So I got them finishing in third. In second place, I have the San Francisco Giants. This is going to be an interesting season for them with the signing of the former Tennessee baseball team coach. I think his name is Tom Vitello. He was just hired. This is going to, if it goes well, it's going to be great because now MLB teams are going to start going into the college scene and getting coaches from there instead of just like staying in house like they've been doing. So it's going to either be a great season for them or a terrible season for them. And I think it's going to be a good one. I like their pitching. Their offense is going to be good, right? A full season of Rafael Devers with the acquisition of Luis Arias at second. Arias, he's not gonna be flashy on defense, but he's gonna give you great at bats. He's gonna bat 300, and he's going to consistently do that. So for that to be part of your lineup, it really helps out a lot. So I think this Giants team ends up in second place, and of course I've got the Dodgers finishing in first. The rich just keep getting richer. The acquisition of Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz this year has just been insane. So I think the Dodgers win that division. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Now we go to the NL Central, where I got the Cardinals finishing in last. Their offseason was just giving people away or trading people, letting them walk, whatever. They filled up their prospects, their minor league system. Jordan Walker is going to be one that I will be watching on the Cardinals because of his trajectory when he was drafted, and he hasn't been playing to that ability. So I want to see if he bounces back or if he just continues to go downhill. And also shout out to Boston natives, Joshua Baez and Danielle Ortiz in the Cardinals organization, both considered top prospects at their respective positions. So hopefully the Cardinals aren't doing good so that we can get some guys from the hometown to represent. That'd be cool. I've got the Pirates finishing in fourth in this division. Paul Skeens is going to go out there and be an NL Cy Young winner with no run support, just like he always has been his entire career. So, yeah, I think the Pirates go fourth in this division. I think the Reds come in third. I think this is going to be a year where Ellie De La Cruz starts to steal a little more. Last year, they were kind of hesitant with him running because they didn't want him to get hurt, because there was speculations and rumors that he was going to be the first billion-dollar player, and they didn't want to miss out on that opportunity, but that didn't happen. So I think they just go out there and continue to play some good baseball. Last year, they made it to the playoffs. So I think they're going to continue to build on that. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs this year, especially with the injury to Hunter Green. He says he feels like a stabbing sensation in his arm every time he throws the baseball, and that is never fun. Never. So I hope he can recover because he is great to watch. He's good for baseball. And he's been a top prospect his entire life, and for him to go down with an injury like that, it just sucks. You never want to see it. So I hope he can come back quickly and stay healthy and dominate out there on that mound. I've got the Brewers coming in second in this division. The Brewers are weird. They win the division, then they let their ace just walk. They just let him go. They let him go, right, to the Mets. That was very weird to me. I don't understand it, right? They're going into opening day with a rookie in Jacob Mazurowski, which should be Freddie Peralta, right, if we're being real. But they let him go, so it's not. They're always a good team. Pat Murphy does a great job of managing these guys. No ego, just straight grit. This team is a gritty group. I like watching them play the game. They play it the right way. Jackson Churio is a star in the making. Christian Yelich, I think, has a good bounce back season, and I hope you do because I picked you on my fantasy team, and a couple people laughed at that pick, and I said you won't be laughing when he hits 300. So Yelich, you go out there and hit 300, and you've got a fan of me for life, buddy. And I've got the Cubs winning this division. I think they go out there and have a good season, a great season actually. Bregman being in that position to go over there in free agency and make this offense better, right? Third base was a hole in that lineup, and now it's not, right. The infield is very, very good. They've got Alex Bregman at third, Dansby Swanson at short, Nico Horner at second base, and Michael Busch over at first. And then they have Pete Crow Armstrong in center field, who they just extended. So he's going to be the center fielder for a very long time over in Chicago. Saya Suzuki, he is getting healthy from that PCL strain or MCL strain in the WBC. He's starting the season on the 10-day IL, but once he comes back, I expect him to be a big part of this offense. And Ian Happ, he doesn't get talked about as much as he should. Just consistently goes out there, wins a Gold Glove, hits for average, hits for power. He's one of the streakiest guys in the league. If he can see one or two go over the fence, you'll probably see 3 or 4, maybe 5 in that week from Ian Happ. So even with the loss of Kyle Tucker, I think it's going to be fine. I think Kyle Tucker just had way too much pressure on him, which, I mean, it was brought upon him. He brought it upon himself going over there and signing that deal. Or being traded and being in the culture of the Cubs and being the high profile name, right? He's not used to that. He was never that in Houston, and that's when he flourished. So him signing with the Dodgers, as much as people hate it, I totally get it from his standpoint, right? He doesn't have to be the guy. He can just be another dude in the lineup. He'll consistently hit. He'll bat 300. He'll give you 30 home runs because there's no pressure on him. Last year he was tense. He was being booed. He's not. That's not going to happen in LA. They don't boo you in LA. It's more of a Hollywood experience when you go to Dodger Stadium. So, but yeah, I've got the Cubs winning this division. Then we go to the last division. We go to the NL East. I've got the Nationals coming up in 5th. I don't know what is going to happen with these guys. I just think they're going to be a bad baseball team. Number 2 prospect in baseball, number 2 draft pick 2 years ago, Dylan Cruz was optioned to AAA. That's never good. Coming from a high pick like him, I think James Wood has a great year again. I think he avoids that mid-season slump. It's the home run derby slump is real. Like it actually happens. And people think it's just it's mental. No, it can really affect your game, and we saw it with James Wood that second half of the season. I think he goes into this season understanding that it's 162 and not 80, right, or 90. It's a full 162, and I think we get the best James Wood that we've seen so far. The Marlins coming up in 4th in this division, scrappy group, and they picked up some pitchers. So I think they're going to do okay. I'm not saying they're going to make a run for the playoffs, right? They're just going to be fourth in the NL East. And we go to third place. I've got the Atlanta Braves finishing in third. I don't know what's going on with them. They just can't stay healthy, and they've got some guys down now. Right before the start of the season, Spencer Strider is on the 15-day IL. Ha-Seong Kim is on the IL until April, I think, or late April. They've got a bunch of injuries, and I just can't put them any higher than 3 until they prove that they can stay healthy. I know it's nothing that anybody plans, and it sucks. Injuries suck, but they are a part of the game. And when predicting this team, I can't put them higher than third place in this division. Second place in the NL East, I've got the New York Mets. I think they have a good bounce back season with the brand new team that they have, letting go of McNeil and Nimmo and Alonso, and then they're acquiring Jorge Polanco, Bo Bichette, Lewis Robert. They've made some good moves. I think it's going to be a great clubhouse, and I think the vibe from the clubhouse goes onto the field, and they play some good baseball, led by Juan Soto. And then I've got the Phillies winning this division. This has been their division for quite some time in the regular season. In the postseason, they seem to go downhill. But regular season, I think the Phillies win this division. Bryce Harper, big bounce back year. They said he's not elite. He comes up with the clutchest at bat of American history in the WBC. So I think he has a good bounce back year and possibly gets traded. To who? I hope the Yankees. Because that little bromance with him and Aaron Judge is something that I just can't ignore. My favorite player in Bryce Harper, and my favorite player on the Yankees, Aaron Judge. It's them two in the same lineup every day will be extremely dangerous, and I would love to see it as a Yankee fan. And it really makes you think, like, Cashman, why didn't you just call him? Why didn't you just call him? He was a Yankee fan his entire life. Call him. Just one call, I guarantee you, Bryce would have signed with the with the navy blue pinstripes instead of the red ones. But that's a topic for another day. Those are my division winners. All right, and then we're gonna go to the MVPs of this upcoming season. I think it's really hard not to pick the guys that won it the past 2 years. Judge and Ohtani. Really hard because they are the 1 and 2, depending on who you ask. If you ask me, Aaron Judge is 1, but I respect the people that say Aaron Judge is 2 because of what Ohtani can do on a baseball field. So I think there's no wrong answer, but you will get pushback from me as to why I believe Aaron Judge is number 1 in baseball. Some guys that I think will give Aaron Judge a good run for this AL MVP, Bobby Witt Jr. in Kansas City. I think he has a big year. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy has been playing some very good baseball as of late. He's been on the bright lights. He's been playing very, very good baseball when it matters the most, and I think he rolls that into this year with the confidence that he has and the ability that he has as well. I think he gives a good running for AL MVP. But ultimately, I think Aaron Judge wins his, I believe it's his 3rd, should be his 4th, but we're not going to talk about that midget. But we go to the National League. I think Ohtani's going to win it. But I believe Juan Soto and Ronald Acuna Jr. can give him a good running for this award. It's going to be really tough because Ohtani is going to be pitching this year, and these guys don't pitch, right? So they're going to have to go out and hit better than Ohtani, and hit against Ohtani too. If they get a chance to hit against Ohtani, make sure they do it at a high level, because that's going to be in the minds of voters at the end of the season when it comes down to this award. Then we go to Rookie of the Year. In the American League, I have Boston Red Sox left fielder Roman Anthony. This kid, said it earlier, he's great. He's got an incredible swing. He swings out of his shoes every single time. One of the top hard hit rate in baseball, right behind Judge and Ohtani, which puts you in very, very good. It puts you in a very good group of hitters. And for him to be this young and be able to be producing the way that he's been producing, it's gonna be fun to watch. I like seeing him at the plate. He's very patient in the zone. He doesn't chase, but he needs to stay healthy. Okay, that's gonna be what derails his season. I think it's gonna be health. He had that oblique strain last season to keep him out of the playoffs, which I think absolutely killed him, because he wanted to be out there more than anybody to help his team advance to the next rounds and be able to continue to compete for a championship. But that's not the way that it went. But I think this year he goes out there and wins American League Rookie of the Year, gets an incentive on his contract, and plays really well. And then in the National League, I've got shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals. Actually, he won't be playing short because Mason Wynn is going to be there. But I've got J.J. Weatherholt from the St. Louis Cardinals. This kid is the real deal. This kid can swing it defensively. He's like that. So I think he's going to have a big year, and I think he wins Rookie of the Year for the National League. Cy Young, we've got Paul Skeens in the National League and Tariq Skubal in the American League. But some guys that might give them a run for this award will be in the American League. I think Garrett Crochet gives Skubal a run for his money for this award. And I believe in the National League, Christopher Sanchez from the Phillies goes out there and has a good year and also competes for this award. But it's going to be really tough. Skubal and Skeens are 1 and 2. Again, there's no wrong answer. It's pretty much preference at this point with those guys. We saw what Paul Skeens was able to do against the DR lineup of the Avengers. So for him to have that confidence going into the season, it's going to be huge. And I think he wins the Cy Young. But those guys, and Christopher Sanchez in the National League and Garrett Crochet, are guys that will be competing for this award throughout the entire season. We've got Manager of the Year. I've got Houston Astros manager Joe Espada. Again, like I said earlier, I think they have a bounce back year. They stay healthy and they get back into that mid 2010 run that they were on. And in the National League, I believe it's going to be Craig Counsell of the Chicago Cubs. I think he goes out and has a great season. And the Cubs win their division and they get a high seed in the playoffs and stuff like that. And Wrigley just goes insane. So I think that he's going to put that team in a good spot every night to win that ball game. So For that, I think he wins National League Manager of the Year. And that's all we've got for predictions today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying to the end. If you don't agree with any of my takes, please comment down below. I'm happy to go back and forth with you on why you're wrong and I'm right. But until then, I will see you guys on the next episode of BWT. Baseball season is here. We made it. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.